What's going on, people? Welcome to the LV Live Show. I am LV Live. Please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Once again, I want to thank all the new subscribers for coming by to my channel, man. It is truly, truly appreciated, right? So we are here. We are finally here. Opening night tomorrow night in the Garden against the Boston Celtics. As you see the ticker right there, 7 p.m. at MSG. The game is going to be, of course, on MSG and on ESPN, right? Primetime game, opening night. Doesn't get no better than this, right? It's a great way for the Knicks to start off after having such a great season last year, going 47-35 and making it to the second round of the playoffs. Nobody saw it coming, right? Being the number 3 seed in the East. And to me, I felt I had a great chance of knocking off the Heat. Of course, with Randall's injuries, IQ being down, Jalen Brunson pretty much trying to carry the load himself. The Knicks didn't have enough, and the Heat got it done in 6 games, right? So this is a beautiful place, right? Here we are. It's a season preview I'm going to talk about really quick, just to give a breakdown of what I think is going to be a big year this year for the Knicks, right? But it's going to be a weird place. It's going to be weird because, of course, we have the addition of Dante DiVincenzo, Nova boy from Golden State, can shoot it, can defend. But outside of that, we didn't really have any new additions. The big, or shall I say, subtraction we have is losing Obi, right, to the Indiana Pacers. Got a second-round pick for him. I think that's going to be a problem for us. I truly, truly think so. A lot of people probably not paying attention to it, but we don't have a 4. We don't have a 4 coming off the bench to back up Julius Randle, and that's going to be a worry for me, a big-time worry for me, right? But before we get into that, let's kind of talk about what the positives are going to be, right? Of course, we bring back to me, an all-star in Jalen Brunson, right? I think he's going to be big for us this year. To me, the best point guard in the East. I know a lot of people are going to say it's Dame Lillard now, right? It's going to say Trae Young, a couple other names, right? To me, there's nobody better, right? There's nobody better. It's better getting off a shot, coming up with big-time shots when needed. And Captain Clutch was the name that he got for me because I just feel like he's just that good. I don't see anybody better in the East. I just don't. Now, of course, I'm a little biased because he's our guy. But, come on, man, that season that he had last year, after coming off that great season that he had with the Mavericks in the playoffs, was huge. But following up with the exceptional season with the Knicks, and especially in the playoffs with a big run that he had, was just exceptional, right? We have to really look to go to him, right? So then right after that, of course, we got Randall, right? Randall had another great season last year, third team All NBA. Second time around, he was an All-Star. Second time in 3 years. Big time production last year, big time double guy. So hopefully he can pretty much keep it going and be a key cog to what it is that we like to do. And then of course RJ Barrett, right? Of course a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, we got to get rid of RJ." I don't like his inconsistency, but to me, I think RJ is a key cog to what it is that we do. If RJ can really get to the free throw line and knock him down, could really turn that 19 points a game last year that he had to possibly 23 points a game because he leaves a lot of money out there, a lot of change out there by missing free throws. That could be a big change to what it is that the Knicks like to do, right? Of course, big money making Mitch in the middle. Huge offensive rebounder, one of the best in the league. Of course, he's a rim protector. I think he's going to have a great year. I saw him in the preseason. He looked like he was in amazing shape. So I think he's going to be huge in what it is that we like to do, right? And then, to me, last but not least, Quentin Grimes, right? Is he going to be able to knock it down on a regular basis? That's the key for me. Is he going to be able to, when the defense is focusing on Randall and RJ, of course Brunson, when they swing it to him, can he knock it down? It's been well publicized that he's been working out with J.J. Redick, and of course he always has been working with Penny Hardaway out there in Memphis. But the key for me is he's got to be able to hit that shot when he's wide open. If we can get offensive production from Grimes, let's say he's averaging anywhere between 10 to 13 points, fabulous. Fabulous for our shooting guard who can knock it down, coming up with big-time shots and being able to score in primetime moments, right? That's the key for Grimes. And I say that's the key for him because he's got a guy breathing down his neck, right? We just picked him up. Dante DiVincenzo, like I said, Nova boy is part of that whole Villanova crew. That's big because if Grimes can't do that, and if he can't knock it down and he's struggling with his shot, Tibbs is going to make a switch. He's already proven it, what he did last year. He's not going to have a problem sitting Grimes, especially with a guy like DiVincenzo, who can give you the same thing that Grimes can give you, but he can knock it down, right? So that's a big piece to DiVincenzo's game, right? He was a great shooter out there in Golden State. That's what kind of got his name up. People start recognizing him because he was hitting down big-time shots out there. And that's the key in this league. When you're about anywhere, I would say, between 6'3", 6'5", let's go even 6'2", right? You got to be able to shoot it. You got to be able to shoot it because, we have wings that are 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", that can shoot the pill, right? So when you're a smaller guard, or shall I say a smaller player, you got to be able to knock it down, especially the wide open shot, the NBA shot, right? That elbow shot, and taking a couple of steps back and hitting that three-pointer, right? That's the shot. That's the money shot. You work on shot every day, all day, shooting thousands of jump shots. When it's money time, when the game is on the line, you got to be able to knock open that shot. And I think that DiVincenzo has shown that, and that's why he was able to get the big money he got from the Knicks this offseason, right? So he's a great addition. And, of course, who was pretty much probably one of the biggest gets in free agency last year was Josh Hart, right? He's been a main, huge cog to what it is that we did at the end of last season. He was huge. He was coming off. I remember his first game playing with the Knicks, right? He was playing not championship, but game-winning minutes, right? Down the stretch. Tibbs believes in him because he's a gritty guard/wing that rebounds, slashes. He's like a Swiss Army knife, right? He does it all. And I think that he's going to be super important to what it is the Knicks do. He's just a perfect piece to a team that's trying to build a championship, right? He just does it all. He can knock down a three if he needs to be, right? He can take it to the hole. He can defend. And the biggest thing for Josh Hart is he can rebound that pill. Gets a lot of loose balls, a lot of offensive rebound, defensive rebound, and what he does that's great is he turns around and he pushes it up the court and puts pressure on the defense, right? So it's good to see what he can be, right? Then also, too, it's been a big talk about this guy, his IQ, right? Of course, everyone is well documented. I even posted on it. The Knicks didn't give him his deal yesterday at 6 p.m., so he's going to be a big contributor for us. But for how long is he going to be a contributor? That's the key, right? How long are the Knicks going to be able to keep him around, right? Because now that they have to wait till free agency to sign him, I think IQ is gone. I don't think IQ is staying around anytime sooner. Anytime longer. I don't think that's happening. I think he's gone. Whatever money he wanted, the Knicks weren't able to match that, right? So, regardless of how he plays, he was up for the $6 million a year last year, which I thought was exceptional. He had an issue with the playoffs. He didn't play that well, but he came down with an injury, so we give him that excuse, right? He had an exceptional season. He really, truly did. But I don't think the Knicks really believe in him the way he believes in himself and the way his agency believes in him, right? Remember, guys, last year before the Tibbs made that change, there was rumblings, right, between the agency, which is IQ's agency, and the Knicks. But IQ wanted more minutes. He wanted to show that he can play, and he feels within himself, what the reports were, is that he's a starter. He can be a starting point guard in this league. The Knicks obviously feel otherwise. But with the addition of Jalen Brunson, that changes everything, right? So now IQ and his agent, they want big money. That's just a fact of the matter. They want big money, and they believe that their current client is that, and I do too. I think IQ's a hell of a talent. I truly do. Young, 24 years old. He could shoot it. He could penetrate, and he could defend baseline to baseline. He's just a great combo guard for what the league is today. So I just don't think that the Knicks are going to be able to match. Well, let me say this. They'll be able to match, but are they willing to go to what some teams may be willing to go, right? Some teams are talking paying IQ next summer 26, 27, 28 million, or maybe 23 million, 24 million. Knicks might say, listen, man, we're only willing to pay you 19. He's going to take that, and he's gone. So how long are we going to have IQ? Are we going to wind up trading him during the trade deadline? Is that going to happen? I see that happening, especially if he's playing well. I don't see the Knicks going deep into their pockets, especially if IQ is having the same season he had last year, if not better. And if he does win the Sixth Man of the Year competition this year based on his play, the Knicks are going to have to dig deep in their pockets. And I don't think they're willing to do that for a guy that they don't feel is a starter and is pretty much a sixth man, right, where IQ sees that he is a starter, right? So you see the two viewpoints and perspectives clashing here, right? So that's why I think he's not going to be here, right? So hopefully we can get the best out of him before that deadline comes. But there's some things we're going to have to kind of look into. So, of course, we want to talk about how many wins, right? How many wins are the Knicks going to have this year? They had 47 last year. They were number 3 seed. What do you say? Right? I say we're in the range between 44 and 48 wins. I think that's where we're at. Now, give or take 1 or 2 games, I think we're right there. Now, as far as the seeds, I think the Knicks could be the number 3 best team in the East again. I think they can. 76ers are about to implode, right? You hear all the rumors now about Embiid wanting out. The Knicks willing to give up all their players for him. Randall, RJ, Mitch for Embiid. So that's a mess over there in Philly, right? To me, the 2 best teams in the East right now, Milwaukee and Boston, right? And it just so happens we got those teams coming up in the first half. Our first couple of games, we got both of those teams. So we're going to see very quickly where we're at, right, based on those 2 teams. But to me, when you look at the rest of the East, you look at the Nets, Cleveland, I think we're going to be back and forth with. I think we're very equal to Cleveland. So it's gonna be very, very interesting. It's gonna be very, very interesting. Very, very interesting to see exactly what it is. And I have to make a quick correction. I'm sorry. The Knicks were not the number 3 seed last year. They were number 5 seed. They knocked off number 4 seed Cleveland. I'm sorry. I'm getting my numbers confused. I apologize. LV sometimes makes mistakes. But anyway, so I think that's where we're at, right? I think we're better than Indiana. I think we're better than Miami. Miami lost a lot of their key pieces from last year. So I think the Knicks are right there. I think the Knicks are right there battling for me between 3 and 4. 3 and 4 in the East. That's where I think we're at, right? But it's gonna be a tough way. To start the season. We got a lot of top dogs coming up, as you see here. Excuse me. Oof, sorry, a lot of dust. But as you see right here, you see the schedule. First 7 games. Look who the Knicks got. Well, of course, we know we got Boston the opening night. Then right after that, we got the Hawks, right? The Hawks has been an arch enemy of the Knicks ever since that Trae Young series. We got them coming up. Then we got the Pelicans, right? And Zion's been looking good. In shape. Stop eating the cheeseburgers. He's ready to go. He looks like Zion flexing and everything. They're dangerous, right? Brandon Ingram. And then we got our nemesis, right, from last year, right? Cleveland Cavaliers, Donovan Mitchell and the crew, right? They're looking for revenge. We got them back-to-back. And then right after that, we got the Bucks, right? The Bucks, who are loaded, got Damian Lillard. They still got Middleton, and, of course, they got the Greek Freak. They're going to be ready to go. And then we got the Clippers, right? As we know, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George. So that's the Knicks' first 7 games. So we're gonna see very quickly what this team is about and what they look like. We got a lot of top dogs here, playoff contenders, championship contenders in the first 7 games. So we're going to find out very quickly what the Knicks are, right? This is a very, very exciting season. The most excited I've been in a very long time about the Knicks. But my biggest issue, my biggest concern, and I'm going to be going live right after the game tomorrow to kind of like really break this down. Especially I want to see exactly how the team looks, what the rotations look like. My biggest concern, a lot of people are sweeping it underneath the rug. Everyone's going to say, IQ. Randall, is he going to be, he's going to go back, right? My biggest concern is the loss of Obi. That's huge to what it is the Knicks like to do. What is going to be the backup plan if Randall goes down? What does that look like? I'm really, really worried about that. Of course, people say, Obi wasn't this, Obi wasn't that. Obi was a perfect piece to what it is that we like to do. It gave Randall time to rest. And he was able to produce points when he was in there. He was a threat on the outside. He was a threat slashing to the basket. He was a threat in the open court. So for that second unit, with IQ, Hart, Obi, I Hart too, then you threw RJ in there, that was a great unit. That really gave us the push a lot of times and gave when that first unit just didn't play well. So what happens if Randall goes down? What do we do? Gonna put Josh Hart at the 4? It's not big enough. We forget how much of a beast Randall is. He's 6'10". Isn't the monster in that Baja? Yes, Obi's not the monster that Randall is. He can't rebound at the clip. But he can score at the clip, and he does have height. He can block shots. So he's decent. He's got the length to defend in that 4 position. Josh Hart does not. Yes, he's gritty, right? He gets down. He's like a lunch pail guy. But he just doesn't have the size to be able to compete with a lot of those wings in the league. So to me, that's something to watch out for. It really, really is. Because I think if Randall goes down, especially the way Tibbs likes to play him, between 30 to 40 minutes a game, coming off that ankle injury, I don't know. I'm really, really worried about that. That's the only thing that could really change our win total. From 44 to 48 to 34 and 38. Like, it could change like that if Randall goes down. So we got to see what happens. All right, but listen. But that's my show. Season opener. As you see the ticker, we're back tomorrow night. All right, let's get ready. Knicks are going to be ready to roll. What say you? What are your wins for the year? Between 44 and 48, what say you? All right, I'm LV Live, and that's my show. Please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. People also, too, leave comments. And please subscribe. All right, I'm LV Live, and that's my show. Let's go, Knicks. I'm out. Peace.